Everybody, this is Bryan Hogue. Welcome to Chiller Night Live. We're from 8 p.m. Eastern Time until 9 p.m. We'll talk about all things horror, science fiction, paranormal. You pick the topic and we'll make a show out of it, by golly. All right, there's my chat. Here we go. Stephanie beat even me this week. All right, so you got yours first, Stephanie. Hey, y'all, she says. Hey, Stephanie, thanks for joining us. Dee says, hello to you, Dee, and thanks for joining us. Tonight's topic is Creature from the Black Lagoon. Where are you? Here we go. So, let's see if anybody else is going to jump on here. I think this is going to be a fun one. This has been kind of fun over the last, since we started doing the show. But it's been kind of neat since we started doing the monster as the topics. And we can move on eventually after we've thoroughly covered all of the monsters, all of the heavies. You know, we've done Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman, Godzilla, King Kong. Now, tonight, the Creature. Bonehead says, hey, hello, Chiller Night crew and Brian. Hey, Bonehead, thanks for joining us. So, we got a night of Creature ahead of us, folks. Al says, hi, everyone, Creature Night. It sure is. Hey, Al, thanks for joining us. Yes, Creature from the Black Lagoon. Let's see, right here. 1954. The movie came out in 3D. Kind of neat. It was the first underwater movie that they did in 3D. It wasn't the first movie in 3D, but it was the first underwater movie in 3D. So that's kind of cool. I do remember watching this in 3D. I remember at our high school, they showed it in the auditorium. We had our little red and blue glasses and watched it in 3D. So kind of cool for the time. John says, and as we count down to spring, we can enjoy our evening with our favorite stream. This is Crozak the Grand, and it's time for Chiller Night Live. And now here's the one you've been waiting for. Here's Bryan Hogue. Well, thank you, Crozak the Grand. And John. Very much appreciated your stellar intro once again. Stephanie says, hey, y'all, it's me on Facebook. Something happened to YouTube Live. Oh, no. I hope it's just on your end. I mean it's unfortunate it happened at all, but I hope if anybody is on YouTube, just give me a thumbs up. Give me something. Speak. Give me something to let me know that you're here. Last week, it got mentioned that I was wearing a plain black shirt. So this week, I didn't have a Creature from the Black Lagoon shirt. Exclusively, but he is on there. Where is he? Yes, he is on there. And speaking of shirts, Patty, when Patty comes on here, I wanted to show again the shirt that she sent to me that has the Creature on it. Bonehead says, I'm here on YouTube. All right, cool. Stephanie says, it's okay, it's on my end. All right, nice. All right, so. I mean, not good that it happened to you, but at least we can, we have access to our YouTube viewers. And on Facebook, you can watch this on my channel, Bryan Hogue. If you're, I don't know if you have to be friends with me to actually view that on my channel or not, but if you're not, hop on. You just send me a friend request. The Chiller Night Escape Experience Facebook page, Jack Shadow's House of Terror Facebook page, and Chiller Night Theaters Facebook page. So you can watch it on all those D's. Here on YouTube too. All right, cool. I'm glad to know that the YouTube channel's working. Daniel says, what's up, Brian? Hey, Daniel. Thanks for joining us tonight. Al says, I got to see this in 3D once in a local theater. It was so cool to see it as my father did in 1954. Yeah, I know. that was just kind of cool. I mean, it was even in the 80s when I was in high school. It was just neat to see. I don't know. I mean, maybe a lot of kids didn't like it. I don't know. I don't know what their interests were at the time, but I still love my monsters, so I did enjoy it. Patty says, I've snuck away, and here I am. Hey, y'all. Hey, Patty, I just mentioned you. I just mentioned you. So, as I was going to show, I'm going to show the shirt that Patty sent me. Also, Patty, we know that Patty sent the Jack Shadow custom figure, so I appreciate that. It's very nice of you. I want to make sure I get this right. Has a picture of, what the heck, Brian? Just pointed toward the camera. It's cool. Okay, I'm seeing it backwards. That's why I'm having a little difficulty. All right, so there is the creature getting in quite the lip lock there with Julie Adams. So I thought that was pretty cool. Thanks again, Patty. All right. So, let's see. John says, first, congrats to visual special effects team for their work and their Oscar award for Godzilla -1. I heard about that, yeah. Making the first Kaiju movie to ever win an Oscar award. Well, it's about time. It's about time. So that is fantastic. Yes, congratulations to the Godzilla -1 visual special effects team. Very cool. Paul says, hey, my chiller family, how's everyone doing? How's Ava? Very well, and thank you for joining us, Paul. Glad everything is going good. Bonehead says, YouTube is usually cause for angry, frustrated, and stupid roles of theirs, but they're coming in tonight. Stephanie says, I like that t-shirt, LOL. Yeah, that was pretty cool. A neat picture there that Patty said. Paul says, okay, here on YouTube. I froze up for a minute as well. Oh no, Manos fixed the problem. He said, of course. But it says, well, Julia Adams did like seafood, you know. Well, then it wasn't too much of a chore for her then. Stephanie says, hi, Paul. Yes, we have, yeah, Creature from the Black Lagoon, 1954. Now listen to this. This is a quick turnaround for movies. You can kind of tell with the production, okay? The next, of course, was Revenge of the Creature, 1955. And then the middle one there. And then The Creature Walks Among Us, 1956. Those movies were back-to-back, people. And you could tell, especially by the time they got to The Creature Walks Among Us. I don't know why they did that. I just don't know why they did that. Because, you know, The Creature Walks Among Us, this is what I see. This guy here. To me, that just isn't the creature from the Black Lagoon. It just isn't. Look. We can pretend it is, but it isn't. All right. So, Bonus says, Paul, Manos is the problem. So, Daniel says, Gemma says hello. Ha! See, I got it right. Well, hello, Gemma. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you're watching. We are talking about a fantastic creature, a monster from creature cinematography of movie history. The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Paul says probably, but I love the guy. We know, Paul. We know, Bonehead says. We know. Yes. Let's see. Publicity photo. Here we go. This was kind of a neat publicity photo. Actually, I met, what was his name? Graham Chapman, the actor who played the creature on land. There was two actors who played him. One was Rico, am I getting the name right? Forget the name. They had two different actors. One on land and one, of course, in the water. And but I met this guy, and I think it was this picture right here, and I was not about to try to find it for tonight, but he was a nice guy. I think he's passed on, but this was back in 2001, so it was a while ago. But I did meet him, and that's the picture. I think I'm pretty sure that's the picture that he had autographed for me. Julie Adams, of course, played our main eye candy for the creature and for the audience. But our creature's, should I say, love interest? Just like King Kong, you know? Do I call it that? Is it? Is it? I don't know. I don't know, but there is obviously something about these women that draws in these beasts, these monsters they are. Stephanie says, I love the first two Creature from the Black Lagoons. Yes. I do like those better than the third one there, The Creature Walks Among Us. Tom says, Rico Browning, the Gillman from the water scenes, just passed about a year ago. Oh, okay. I think the other one did too. I keep wanting to think Graham Chapman is. I don't know why that name is not coming to me. I did meet him. Like I said, a very nice guy. I got a picture. It was at a convention. But it says, and Paul, I won't rub in the fact that Godzilla won an Oscar. I know Manus is in a category all by itself. Yeah, all by itself. Dee says, the Creature Gilman had a cameo on the Monsters. That's right. That's right. Did he talk on that? Was he a talking creature? I just remember seeing the pictures. I don't know if I actually ever even saw that episode. Paul says, in the movie Creature from the Black Lagoon, did the actor wear a scuba tank? I don't know. I think they had something rigged up in the Revenge of the Creature, which is why they had bubbles coming out of his head. But the first one, they did it in a different way. I couldn't tell you. I used to know this stuff, but I don't know it off the top of my head. Roger says, good evening. Good evening, everyone. Hey, Roger, thanks for joining us. Brennan says, Rico Browning and Ben Chapman. Ben Chapman. Why did I say Graham? Rico did the underwater scenes and Chapman did the land scenes in the first Creature movie. Yeah. And Graham, see, I'm saying Graham again. Ben Chapman, he said that he was like 6'5", so a very tall guy, and then, or 6'4", maybe 6'5", but he said by the time the costume was on him, he was 6'7", so very tall creature, as you can imagine. Al says, I got to meet and interview Ben Chapman for my publication Blood Moon Rising back in 2003. No way! Oh, that is very cool. No way. That is really neat. That's 2 years after I met him. So, yeah, it was back in the day. Paul says, how long did he hold his breath? Those are movie behind-the-scenes secrets that I just don't know the answer to. John says, fun fact about The Creature from the Black Lagoon. A comic book adaptation of the movie was published. I actually have that. I have that comic. It was published by Dark Horse Comics and was done scene by scene by Art Adams and is still available from Dark Horse Comics. I do have that. That's a neat looking comic book. Dee says, Julie got injured during the filming. Yeah, he was, Ben Chapman was holding her and walking into the cave, and he just couldn't see with the costume on and the low lit scene set in the cavern, and he had bumped her head off the fake, rock wall, and she says she wasn't really hurt, but it startled her more than anything. But she had a little bump on her head, little cut maybe. I don't know how bad it got her, but they just put some makeup on and finished filming for the day. But they gave her a little jolt. Ben Chapman, Tom says he passed in 2008. Okay. See, to me, I guess that doesn't seem that long ago, but I guess it is, yeah. Stephanie says, I think it was Julie Adams that passed last year. I'm not sure. If not last year, it would have been maybe the year before, because I mean, it seems like it just happened, but it probably was a year or two ago. Richard says, simply one of the best of the monster movies, The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Each movie is truly enjoyable every time I watch one. Yeah, there's nothing like the creature. There's just like, he's so unique. Daniel says, I have never seen Creature from Black Lagoon. Well, you really ought to check it out. I think you would enjoy it. Maybe I don't know. It's just a different movie. When we had, you saw Dracula, Frankenstein, Wolfman, and at the time, The Creature came out in 1954. It was more of a sci-fi movie, really, if you think about it. But sci-fi-ish horror. But those movies were not. They weren't really playing on television at the time until you started the shock theater thing. So a lot of times people weren't really seeing the other classic monsters, and then this came out in the theater, 1954. 1954 is really, I believe, when a lot of the horror host and the shock theater stuff started happening. So I could be off on that, but I think I don't think I am. Brendan says, no, Paul, Rico Browning had to hold his breath while shooting the underwater scenes. For how long, Paul wonders. Dee says, yeah, the creature had a few short lines in the cameo appearance. Okay, you wonder how he sounded. I was just Graham Chapman was one of the Monty Python group. That's where I'm getting that name. I knew I had heard of Graham Chapman. Okay, because I used to watch Monty Python's Flying Circus all the time. All right. So his name was creeping and crawling somewhere in the back of my head. Paul says, what's the world record for holding breath? I don't know. You might have to Google that one, because I can't tell you. Let's see. Whatever it is, Paul, I bet $10 Bonehead can beat it. Yeah. IR Geek says, interesting trivia, thanks. Hey, IR Geek, thanks for joining us. Bonehead says, Monty Python is a classic comedy group. God, they're still funny even today. Yeah. I didn't realize how much those guys didn't like each other. Or at least Eric Idle, I guess, does not get along with the other, like John Cleese and Michael Palin, and that's kind of sad to know that. I didn't know that until like maybe a couple weeks ago. I just saw like a write-up on it, and like John Cleese is actually talking about this. And I don't know, it doesn't sound like it's in jest. It sounds like this is a serious thing that has been going on for a while, so I don't know. It's too bad. John says, fun fact, Rico Browning, who was the creature for the underwater scenes, was able to hold his breath for up to 5 minutes. Really? Are you serious? That's a long time. What was he, like a UDT, or wouldn't have had seals back then, but this helped make the gill man look more realistic. And when he needed air, a team of divers were able to give him air through a hose. Wow, that's pretty impressive. Bonin says they had an oxygen tank close by in case Browning needed it, but for filming he held his breath till they got the shot. He couldn't wear goggles either. Right, yeah, he decided to just go with his regular eyes for the underwater scenes, and I don't think it's very noticeable, but yeah, he couldn't wear the goggles. So Jason says, greetings all, coming to you with one arm but a whole heart. What'd you do? I think did you mention this last week? Did you have surgery on your shoulder or something? It might take you a while to respond. But I'm glad you're with us, Jason. Daniel says, Monty Python and the Holy Grail was better, LOL. Jason says, Monty Python was great, but so was Dave Allen at large and Benny Hill. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Brian says, hello all. Hey, Brian, thanks for joining us. In fact, I will say, going by what Jason just said about Dave Allen, that's the reason I ended, because I used to watch Dave Allen all the time when I was growing up, and I used to love that. I used to love that show. And because of his Good Night and May Your God Go With You. That was his staple ending, and I wanted to have, because of Dave Allen, believe it or not, that's actually why I had Jack Shadow, I bid you adieu, my children of the night. I wanted him to have one thing that he always said at the end of the night, at the end of the episode. That was inspired by Dave Allen. Let's see. And Benny Hill, of course. Yeah. We all watch Benny Hill. IR Geek says, has anyone played the Creature pinball machine? No, no. I haven't. But, you know, it's funny you would bring that up because I just saw that like a week ago. Somebody was selling one. And it was very expensive, at least the one I saw. I don't remember. But it's a favorite of mine. You can get a recreation for virtual pinball machines and play it on your own cabinet or PC. Oh, okay. That's cool. Jason says, 4 fractures to shoulder, but no surgery. Fingers crossed. Oh, really? Holy cow. Did you fall down or something? It sounds like quite a pain. Tom says, I played that IR years ago. Okay. Fun fact number 3 by John. In Revenge of the Creature, a sea turtle actually bit off a piece of the Gilman suit. What? And a young Clint Eastwood, now this I do, appeared in the movie as a lab assistant of John Agar. Yes, I do remember that. For free, IR Geek says for play it on your cabinet or PC. Well, that's cool. That's neat information. Now here are the, it's no John Agar, but we do have Richard Carlson pictured here. Richard Carlson, Julie Adams, and Richard Denning as our 3 main stars of the movie. So Richard Carlson, he was in a lot of stuff, you know, but John Agar was in a lot more, I'll tell you. It just seems that way. I'm just saying. I don't know. I haven't counted, haven't compared. But I've seen John Agar in every single movie made in the 50s and 60s. It seems. Tom says, what did the pinball machine cost? I don't know. I don't know. It was expensive. That's all. Because I was thinking, I want that. I looked at it. I was like, maybe I'll get it later. I'm buying stuff for escape rooms I'm building and all that, modifying the haunt, so I think I'll just wait. But it would be cool, though. I would like to have one. It'd be neat to have in the store. Daniel says, fun fact about the Holy Grail, the fun company didn't have enough funds to afford the actors' horses, and so they decided on using the coconuts for the galloping sound, and some of the actors played more than one character. Oh, yeah. I do like their horses. Pretty inexpensive way of doing it. Jason says, the Fluke Man from the X-Files. Oh, the Fluke Man. Yeah, that was a creepy one. Ugh. Episodes may be a distant relative of the creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that was a weird looking creature. Tom says Richard Carlson is the king of sci-fi B movies. Yeah, I know. Tom says, I have a Meteor pinball machine from 1976. Oh, no way! That would be cool. I do plan on putting a stand-up arcade game in the store. What store, you may ask? Well, I might as well put in my shameless plug for my stuff. Okay. Folks, if you're watching this and you're not aware, if you live anywhere within Northwest Pennsylvania, you ought to make a trip to the Chiller Night Escape Experience, horror-themed escape rooms. I have the Zombie Outbreak Escape Room. I have, that one's open and available to the public right now. Jack Shadow's House of Terror, Haunted House. That is seasonal. That went over very well. And the one I'm working very hard to get done before the end of this month is The Witching Hour. That's his book now, but you can't. So don't even try. No, that one will be ready for the public. Now there's one thing to get done with it, and then I have to have test groups go through, and then, of course, I have to, well, it has to be registered and inspected before I even get to that point, so it'll probably open to the public in April at this point. But that's my store at the Cranberry Mall in Venango County, Pennsylvania. And that's another look at it from inside. A little stranger. You can see, actually right there, you can see Jack Shadow's House of Terror, the entrance to it. And that goes all the way back to the back of the store. You can see straight ahead where it says the Dead Walk. That's the entrance into Zombie Outbreak, into the first room, then the other room to it. The second room is down the aisle there, down around the corner that you can't see. And then the Witching Hour will be right there, that little shack-looking, cabin-looking building right there to the left. So there you have it. So come on out. Hope to see you. Stephanie says, I'm back on YouTube, y'all. All right, Stephanie. IR Geek says, Tom Paisley, you might look into virtual table. You have to load the table emulation software for visual pinball first, but then you can get table for free. That's a neat idea. I'd like to actually get the actual pinball machine, now that you bring it up, because Ava saw like this decoration of the creature, and he's got his arms, and we were thinking about putting that somewhere in the store also. So that'd be kind of neat to get some old classic monsters in there. Tom says, yeah, I'm about to get my Meteor restored. The parts alone could cost $1,600. That's cool, though. I wonder, I try not to Google stuff when I'm on here, but I would kind of like to have an idea of how much that pinball machine costs. I shouldn't even been looking at it, to be quite honest. I got, Paul says, oh, this Paul's technology just crashed. Maybe it wasn't just Stephanie. Maybe something is happening with YouTube. Paul says, tell everyone he's okay, and he says good night to everybody. So, all right. So, well, thanks for joining us, Paul. I don't know if you can still see us, or hear us, but all right. So let's see. None of these episodes are complete unless I show the Crestwood House book covers. Remember those? Again, I used to love those things as a kid. Here's some other things, speaking of stuff that I liked as a kid. Last week we did King Kong, and I had both of these little Bendums when I was a kid. I just find these pictures on the internet. They're not like my Polaroids or anything. No, but I do remember King Kong and then the creature. I had both of those. I had Dracula. I don't remember if I had... I'm sure I did have the other ones, but I just don't remember. But those were cool. I remember those as a kid. And then, of course, if you're a kid growing up in the early 70s, you probably, and you loved monsters, you probably had one of these jigglers here. And at the top, of course, you see the creature. I have the Frankenstein one. I have one of those. I ordered it. Is it hidden here? It's in one of these drawers. But again, I look for this stuff every once in a while on eBay, like, I wonder if, I can find this and that. And I can, and I do. So, but here's, just walk down a creature memory monster lane with me. Remember the old, I don't know if that particular brand is the Ben Cooper costume, but the old vintage Halloween costumes. And of course, I've got to say this, I've got to bring this up, because I do every week with these monsters, the Aurora monster model kits. So, that one looks pretty cool. Again, it's not mine, I just find these pictures on the internet, so, but that's pretty neat. Anybody have any memories of stuff like that? Tom says, I'll ask my pinball guy, which ones are you interested in? They vary greatly depending on how rare or in demand they are. Well, the one I was looking at was the creature from the Black Lagoon. There was because IR had mentioned it, and that got me thinking about it. Because it's weird, because like I said, I hadn't seen it, or I hadn't really thought about it, but I seen it See, I'm trying to type and talk at the same time, and my teeth and tongue are tripping over my lips. Creature from the Black Lagoon. Da, 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 da. Remember the music in that? Every time they played, every time you saw the creature, da, 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 the guys composing the music for that, they really were against that. They didn't want to do it that way, but they were instructed to do it that way. That was actually something that they, and they played, da, 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 very, very audibly intrusive, that they played it like 130 times throughout the movie. Pinball. Okay, I'm sorry. I have to look this up. Pinball machine. Is it for sale? For sale. I should have looked in eBay. All right. Sorry, guys. Now I'm curious. Yeah, this one's about... Oh, that's the monsters. Yeah, the creature pinball machine. I see one here. For $12,000, $11,999. So, yeah, about $12,000 for it. It'd be cool to have in the store. There's some neat ones. They got. Wish I could show them on here, but Jaws and Godzilla. There's one with Godzilla. I know they have an Elvira. They have one of hers. So, yeah, about $12,000 for that creature one. That's pretty cool. Al says, I had the Aurora model kit as a kid. Oh, that's neat. Bonus says, wow, $1,600 for a pinball machine parts. Holy smokes, I'd be afraid to touch that machine, let alone play it. I'll stick with inexpensive treat of playing my Cracker Barrel pegboard game. There you go, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you don't feel quite as afraid to touch that. Dee says, I had the Dracula Halloween costume. The holes in the mask were lethal and sharp. Yeah. Oh, I know. I don't think there was much safe about it, those costumes, but we all wore them. We wore them and we liked it. IR says, I love Meteor physical machine. You might want to sell it instead and use the proceeds for a major virtual pin. Can't post links, so you got to Google it. John says, fun fact, number 4. Rico Browning would later appear as an extra in Sea Hunt with Lloyd Bridges. I imagine he did probably catch the eye of some movie makers with his swimming styles, his expertise there. That's what got him, because he didn't originally go in there to play the creature. He just originally went in so they could get an idea of filming underwater, and they liked the way that he looked when he was swimming, and so they asked him if he would play it. And he played a much shorter version of the ground creature costume, and it was smaller, much smaller than Ben Chapman, so they had to make a different looking costume for him for that, but you don't really notice it. I wouldn't notice it if I hadn't have heard it. Here's my DVD collection. I do have these creatures on these movies on VHS, but I just wasn't really looking to to go digging today to find them. But that's cool. They got Creature from Black Lagoon, of course. They got the other movies in here as well, plus some bonus features. Pretty neat set of the Legacy collection came out several years ago. And when I say several years ago, I don't know what that means, because to me, I think like, oh yeah, I bought those videos. I bought them some years ago. Like the VHS, for example. It was like 30 years ago, 30 some years ago. And to me, I don't know why. I look at to me, I'm like, oh yeah, that was just a few years ago. I don't know. So I really am bad about saying the right time frame. Stephanie says there's a pinball that's themed Tales from the Crypt. Oh, that'd be cool. Tom says there's also a Monster Bash pinball machine by Williams. Has all the Universal Monsters features. Oh, that'd be really neat. We should do a pinball Monsters pinball episode one of these times. Bonus says my My God Almighty, I didn't realize pinball machines are so expensive. Yeah, they can go up there quite a bit. Like I say, with me trying to build and buy stuff for the escape rooms, and then this haunted house for this year in 2024, there's stuff that I want to get for it that I didn't have last year, because I was building that one from the ground up. So I needed to invest quite a bit in lumber and paint and all kinds of stuff. So, this year there's some stuff I want to get for it, and change the whole back end of it, and some other rooms in there. So I know I'm going to have some expenses involved. So I think the creature pinball machine is going to have to wait. But that would look so cool. I will have a stand-up arcade game in the store. I might have a couple of them. But that creature pinball machine, that would be pretty neat. There's my baby. Ava says, hey, baby. Hi, everyone. Hey there, baby. Hope you're having a good night. Glad you could duck in, say hi. Tonight we're talking about the creature from the Black Lagoon. Stephanie says, OMG, I got those at home. What, the models? Or are you talking... You're not talking about the pinball machines, are you? Models, costumes, jigglers, Bendums. What else we have? The book. Bonus says $12,000 for a pinball machine. I bought a Freightliner tractor in 2014 for $12,000. I hauled freight with that truck for 2 years. I know. It's a crazy amount of money. When you can buy something that is actually useful for something like your tractor. Although Tom has he does have a point here. Yeah, Bun, but can you tilt a Freightliner? I think not. Yeah, at least you're not supposed to. And if you are tilting a Freightliner, you better be careful. I don't think it's supposed to do that. Stephanie says, hi, Ava. Not sure if she's still on here. When she's at work, she'll get like a couple minutes break, so she'll just jump on and say hi. She might not be on there. But I appreciate that. John says, fun fact number 6. All right, John, keep them coming. Rico Browning did go on to direct the underwater scene for both the original Flipper movie and the TV series. Okay. I remember that. His greatest contribution was his directing the underwater action sequences for the James Bond movie Thunderball. I definitely remember that. And then they somewhat remade that movie Thunderball into Never Say Never. Never Say Never or Never Say Never Again. The Sean Connery movie, I think in 1983, that came out the same year as, was it Octopussy with Roger Moore? Roger Moore and Sean Connery came out in the same year, if I'm remembering that right. I went and saw them both. But that was a remake of Thunderball. So, kind of a loose remake of it, but it was, I remember watching that in a documentary. Bonus says, if that's too much for a pinball machine, I'd hate to know what a Pac-Man game machine would be. Yeah, I don't know what those go for. Stephanie says, I got the DVD collection thing at home. Oh, okay, the Legacy collection. Yeah, these are pretty cool. I have a bunch of those, the different monsters. D says, there's a Pinball Hall of Fame in Las Vegas, Nevada, with hundreds of pinball machines from the 50s and up. Oh, really? Now, are you allowed to play them, or are they just kind of like a museum where you just kind of get to see them? I'd be afraid to have just the general public go in there and play those. IR Geek says, I can't post a link here, but just Google virtual pinball creature from the Black Lagoon, and that will get you started. Tales from the Crypt has a virtual version too. Love it. Oh, that's neat. Cool. Tom says, Brian's prices seem a bit too high for me. Sounds full retail on steroids. Condition is a factor too. Yeah, that's just one of the first ones I pulled up on. Well, it showed it was showing me the eBay one for sale. Yeah, now I would shop around before I just jumped into that. But that's I remember seeing a price that maybe that was the price or one similar to that. It was pretty high. Bonus says no, you can't, Tom, but you can tip it. Total and transport many pinball machines in the trailer. All right. Williams, Tom says, Williams also made a Thunderball machine, 1982. Huge hit. Oh, was that when it came out? 1982. Or maybe they made the pinball machine in 82. I gotta look this up. Never say never again. 1983. Okay, so the pinball machine must come out a year before that. That came out in 83. I thought it was 83. That and I think it was the Roger Moore movie that was coming out at the same year. It might have been the Octopussy. I believe so because I remember seeing both of those. D says yes, you can play most of them. The cost to play is whatever the original cost was on the machine. What? Really? Tom says machine came out in 82. Yep, that makes sense. Okay. Be a good way to promote the movie too. What? The cost to play is whatever the original cost was on the machine. That's kind of crazy. Wait. Whoa. The original cost to play it. Like the original cost in 1950 to play Invaders from Mars or whatever. I'm just saying, if it was 50 cents to play it then, it would be 50 cents to play. Or quarter, I guess. I don't know what the heck it would be. But you're saying if it was 25 cents when it first came out, it would still be 25 cents to play now. I think that's what you're saying. Okay. John Wayne. Hey, SBC. Hello, everyone. Can it be so late? How can it be so late? I know. Well, see, now I that caused me to look over and see that it was late. Hey, I had mentioned. Hey, Tom, you were right about. Remember last week when I was trying to pull up this picture and it wouldn't come up, and also the zombie ad. And they were in different files. I was reorganizing my escape room stuff. So I did do that. So now that I just now thought of this, here comes the ad. That would have been so cool if it had actually worked. Okay, here we go. All right. We're going to try it again. Oh my gosh! Why? I practiced this. It was working before. No, come on.
Chiller Night Escape Experience presents Zombie Outbreak Escape Room. You and your team of scientists are sent to inspect a top-secret laboratory in a hidden military bunker. Sinister experiments have resulted in reanimating the dead. The facility is now swarming with the living dead, and you have 1 hour to escape or be overrun by zombies. Can you survive a zombie outbreak? Book your escape room appointment to find out. Book online at chillernight.com or call 814-209-8214. Gift certificates available at the store counter.
All right, folks, we got through it. We got it. We got it finally. D says correct. If it was a quarter to play, then it's a quarter to play now. All right, that's cool. The newer machines are $2 to play, etc. All right, that's neat. I'd do that. Let's see. Ira says, the Chiller Night, thanks for the great content. I love the creature films. I have to bounce early, but with the Pinball Talk, you can find digital versions of all the machines. Google VP Universe. Okay, so if anyone's interested in doing that, appreciate you sharing that information, Ira Geek. Tom says there's an internet pinball database online. Good source for what cabinets came out in lots of detail. That's neat. Geek says, thanks, I have to interact with the family unit for dinner. All right. Well, enjoy your dinner. Be safe and well. All right, you too, and thanks for joining us. One says, there it is, Brian, you got it. I know. Oh, that was frustrating. Patty says, Brian has gremlins. I know. I know. Why I oughta these gremlins. All right, so, but there, I'll put the creature picture up while we're chatting. Here's my creature figure from, when did I get that? I think I got that in like '99. And then I have one of the stuffed creatures, about like that tall, stuffed creature from the Black Lagoon, also purchased in '99. When I first moved up here from Pittsburgh, I remember there was a lot of merchandise for the Universal Monsters, and that was, you know, for some reason for several years there, that was a big deal, and that might have been when the VHSs were all coming out. I remember the stamps, the postage stamps for the Universal Monsters was a thing in the late '90s, mid to late '90s. They were having books coming out, merchandise like this, and I know there was a lot of stuffed. There was like a stuffed animal line. I bought some of those. They're mostly like these little creatures, but the creature from Black Lagoon, the one I got, was a huge one. So, but just, I don't know, a lot of neat memories when I look at stuff like that. I didn't know how this guy was going to show up against the green. He's a little weird looking, but that's all right. Hey, I wanted to mention too that let me go down here. I did something a little similar to this. It was Saturday, and it was just like a minute, and it wasn't near as stellar and interesting as what this is, because I have interaction here with you guys. But I was on. This is me at the store. This is how it looked. There was no effects or nothing like that. It was just me sitting there at the store. But I think I'm going to start doing something like that at the store on Saturdays, if I have time, if I don't have groups coming through. But in between, this was only a couple minutes. It wasn't anything like what we do here. But I would be interested if that would evolve over time. It'd be kind of neat if I was able to get something like this going from the store on Saturdays, you know. So I don't know. I'll see how it goes. I'm going to try it again this coming Saturday. See if I get some viewers. And I can't. You know, the tough thing is, I'm the only one there, so I can't really say, oh, I'll do it at 3 o'clock, and then I have a group come in. So it's like that's the only thing. But I'm going to try to do something like that for at the store. I think that'd be kind of fun. Brian says, not to change the subject, but Godzilla -1 won an Oscar. Yeah, that's what John was saying earlier, for visual effects, something like that. Yeah, that is really cool. That's neat to see that a movie like that actually, you know, got an Oscar. So that's neat. Stephanie says, Gil looks fine to me. Oh, good. Yeah, I wasn't sure how that was gonna. I'm doing that as if you could see my hand behind it, but you know, there's a little. You might be able to see the background behind him. I don't know, a little bit. I see it's a little cloudy there. Red 2 says, hello, glad to see you. Hey, Red 2, thanks for joining us. Tonight, the topic is Creature of the Black Lagoon. There you go. Let's see. Bonus says, I must be a cheapskate. I'm wanting the new Godzilla -1 figure, but I'm not wanting to pay $95 for it. He thinks I'll wait a while until hopefully the price goes down, way down. Yeah, that's kind of costly for a figure. I couldn't even begin to tell you how much these are, but I'm sure that a Godzilla figure, I don't know what size creature are they. I have no idea how much these were back back in '99. I think it was in '99 when I got them, or maybe early to maybe 2000, '99 or 2000. I know those stuffed ones that I got, the ones I was telling you about, that was '99 because I got those the October that I moved up here. So John Wayne says, water creatures hunt beautiful women in and sometimes without bikinis. Those were the good old days. Yeah, 1954, Julie Adams was still wearing a bikini. And then, although she says that it was still kind of risque in 1954, the bikini she had on. Do I have a picture of that? Probably not. Can't really, whoops, see it too well, but yeah, it was just that. But because it kind of V-shaped up at the top of her leg, that was. But then in Jaws, by the time Jaws comes around, heck, who needs a bikini? Just jump in and get eaten. Red 2 says, you have Chiller on YouTube again next week? Yes, Red 2, we are on every Tuesday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, and it runs for an hour. So, Chiller Night Live, that's what we do. So, I don't do the Chiller Night Theaters anymore with Jack Shadow hosting, or occasionally myself as a stand-in host toward the end there. And Chiller Chats, that was the talk show I did for quite a while, but I don't do those at this time either. Reason being is I enjoy doing that stuff, but it just got too much to try to. This is an easy show for me to prepare for. It's basically, other than, when we're doing a certain topic, it's it's a little bit involved because I got to look things up, pull up some pictures, put them in the Q&A. But normally these shows here are just me chatting, chiller chatting with you guys. So, but the other ones were just too much for me to try to do that and run the business and the haunted house and the escape rooms. So 6-inch figure, Bonehead says, for the Godzilla. Oh, wow! And that's $95. Holy moly. Red 2 says, love the creature from the Black Lagoon. Yeah, that was always one of my favorites. Just such a neat looking monster. 9 minutes to go. What's our topic next week? Oh, yeah. Now, here's the thing. Here's some of the monsters we haven't covered. As far as like the main category, do we see what's on my shirt? The Mummy. I know we haven't done the Mummy. Dracula, Wolfman. We already did Frankenstein's monster. We did that creature. We're doing that tonight. Something this said. Oh, the Bride of Frankenstein. I don't know. I kind of touched on her with Frankenstein. I don't know. What do you think? Mummy? That would kind of be the natural progression, I think. Red 2 says, thanks, great. Oh, you are very welcome. Appreciate you joining us tonight. John. Oh, and I encourage you, if you haven't yet, Red 2, IR Geek, any of you actually like and subscribe to the channel, and also hit the notification, the little notification bell. That way you'll be notified whenever these come on. So at least you're supposed to. It's supposed to work that way. John Wayne says, you can hang an open webcam in the anteroom of the escape room. It's good for security, and then you're always online. I could rig up something. Eventually, I would like to have a system like this set up in the store. And at that time, I'm hoping to have at least another employee to where I can go and do something like this from the store. And I think that would be pretty cool. Maybe we could even get it on Saturday nights again. Red 2 says, yes, great, classic, The Mummy. I think so. I think The Mummy would work. John Wayne says, too bad I missed the whole show today. YouTube should work on their notifications. That's why I say they should notify you, because I think that I've had a couple people say that it didn't work out that way. I'm not sure why. Invisible Man, but I can't see that. Yeah, maybe they would be the week after that, the Invisible Man. Red 2 says, I already subscribed. Thank you. I appreciate that. Stephanie says, LOL. Oh, Bones. Yeah. Bonehead. Patty says, The Mummy, yes. But it says, thanks, Miss Stephanie Press. You're a sweetheart. Yeah, we've got 5 minutes left. So what do you guys think? All right, really, as far as the classic creatures, you know, like I said, Bride of Frankenstein, we kind of threw in there. I mean, did we talk about it? If you want to talk about the Bride of Frankenstein, we absolutely can. I don't have a problem with that. That's one of my favorite movies. So, or that she's not exactly one of my favorite characters because she doesn't do that much. Through no fault of her own. I'm sure she had a lot going on at the time. But it's an interesting monster. But you know, we do have the Mummy, the Invisible Man. We're talking about the classic Universals. The Mummy, the Invisible Man, and if you want to do the Bride of Frankenstein, we certainly can. I'm not opposed to it. I'm just saying, you know. Or you can go. We can go and do. You know, we can cover the other ones. The slasher, more slasher 80s. You know, 70s, 80s. Michael Myers, Jason. We can just go right down the list. Really, nothing stopping us, folks. We can get crazy with this stuff. John Wayne says, "Mommy, this is something to unwrap, not only for Christmas, all year long." Red 2 says, if I don't make it in my book next week. Yeah. Well, hopefully you make it. Hopefully you make it and join us next week. Brian says, Hammer Films some week. Yeah, well, we can do that too. They don't, when I'm saying the Mummy, we can talk about the, you know, we were doing that with the Dracula and the Wolfman, the werewolf. We were also talking about other production companies' versions too. So that's, yeah, the Mummy. It'd be cool to include Hammers, you know, with Christopher Lee playing the Mummy, and of course Peter Cushing as the hero of the movie. Yes, Red 2 says the Mummy. All right, so I mean, I'm good with that. I think that would be a good one. Be kind of as far as the supernatural monsters go, it'd be the next in line. Not that the creature is a supernatural one, but Bonus says, I can't wait, or I can't FOF next week no matter what we talk about. I can't forget. I do love this show and the whole Chiller Night crew, and Brian, thanks Ians, and y'all come back soon, as in next week. Absolutely. Well, thank you for joining us once again, Bonehead. D says, The Mummy is one of my favorites. I play it in the background many nights to fall asleep to. Oh, really cool. Do you play, which one? Do you have a favorite version that you play to go to sleep? Like, do you play the Boris Karloff one, or Lon Chaney Jr. with Kara's The Mummy? You know, or are you talking the Hammer one with Christopher Lee? Or maybe none of those. Maybe there's another version that you prefer. I don't know. If so, that'd be neat to bring it up also for next week as well. I can't wait for next week. Autospell got me again. Bunny says, see you next week. Stay healthy. I collect the bandages for Big Mummy show next week. John says, Red 2, good seeing. Looking forward to seeing you next Tuesday. Awesome. Patty says, Imhotep. Oh, yeah, that's the Boris Karloff. Jason says, as always, thank you so much for doing this great show. Thank you, Jason, and a speedy recovery to you. I hope you get better soon. Tom says, see you all next week. Thank you, Tom. See you. See you next week. Patty says, stay safe all. D says, the original Boris Karloff. All right, right. Which is pictured behind me. Maybe I'll put that up here. Thanks to Tom Paisley, he got me that. Let's see, The Thing movie, good movie. Oh, The Thing. Oh man, we could really trail off into some good John Carpenter stuff. Dinosaurs. Red 2 says the dinosaur movies other than Godzilla or Big Bug movies. Remember The Last Dinosaur with Richard Boone? I remember seeing that on TV, one of those made-for-TV movies when it came out. Great show, Red 2 says. Oh, thank you. But it says, God bless you and see you next week. Be safe, everybody. Thanks for a great show. It is 9 o'clock. Okay, I guess it's time to wrap it up. Night 2, all until next week, Red 2 says. All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for joining me and each other once again for Chiller Night Live. Have a good night. Have a good chiller night. And we'll see you next week.